Hello. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for pushing back a couple minutes. I was finishing up some lunch.
Of course, no problem.
Awesome. So you live in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I was in Amsterdam a few months ago and it was so beautiful. I want to go back so bad.
Oh, that's great. I haven't really talked to people that were in Amsterdam. I love that.
Yeah, I was literally there for like 10 hours. I was flying to Lithuania to film um, Contractually Yours, the one that me and Casey did, because we filmed that in Lithuania. And I had like a 12-hour layover in Amsterdam. So I was like, I have to go see the city. So I left and just walked around for a few hours. It was beautiful.
Do you want to begin right away? Do you want to talk first? What do you want?
Sure, we can jump right in.
And also, if you could give yourself a little introduction.
Sure. My name is Sarah Grace. I'm from New Orleans, which is like in the south of the United States. I have been living in New York for 8 years, where I studied theater and dance. I went to the new school, and then I transferred to this acting studio called the William Esper Studio, which was a phenomenal place. It really changed the way I work as an actor. I have a background in theater, like specifically Shakespeare and like classic works like that. But I started doing film when I was like 14 in New Orleans. Um, I got into the vertical land like about a year and a half ago. So not this January, but the January before that. And it was so funny because when I got on set, I didn't know what we were doing. I had no idea that it was a vertical. I was, doing the thing, and then I looked at the monitor and it was vertical, and I was like, what is going on here? And they were like, oh, you didn't know? We're doing this. And that was my introduction to it. But it was so funny. And, since I did that first one, the first one I did was Fleeing Husband, also with Casey. Um, yeah, since I did that one, it's just been kind of nonstop since then, shooting them in LA, in New York, in Lithuania, and in China as well. So it's been great. Yeah.
You answered one of the later questions already.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Because that was how did you get into verticals? That was also one of
Yeah.
the questions.
I can tell you a little bit more about that. I just found the audition, on Backstage, and I had been wanting to work in LA for a while. I had never been to LA because, like I said, I've been living in New York for 8 years. And it was in LA. It paid well, and they were like, "Oh, we'll take care of you. We'll do everything." So I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." So I auditioned. And even when I auditioned, I was like, this script is a little funny. I'm like, why are there episode breaks like every, 3 pages? I didn't really understand what was going on, but I was like, I'm just going to do it. Yeah, and then I booked it and I went out to LA and did the first one, and it's been great, like working with all of these people. A lot of people I've worked with more than once, which is so nice. It's truly like such a community that I didn't even know existed. Um, it's awesome, yeah.
Can you share a little fun fact about yourself?
A fun fact about myself. That's so hard. That's always the hardest question. They ask that in auditions a lot sometimes, and I never know what to say. Okay, here's a fun fact. I actually started out Like I've been acting since I was like a baby, but I studied classical music for 10 years. I played piano and clarinet, and music used to be like a huge, huge part of my life. Like my family, they were like, "We really want you to be a musician," but I was like, "Sorry, guys, I'm gonna be an actor." So that's my like funny past life is as a classical musician. I know, it's kind of funny. Like most parents would be like, "Oh, we want you to be a doctor or like a lawyer or whatever," but my family they classical music. I don't know.
I mostly left because the next one was, did you always want to be an actress?
I did. Even though I did study classical music for 10 years, I liked music, but I always knew that acting was what I wanted to do. Um, like it was a fun thing and it was a really good creative outlet, music, but I always felt a lot more comfortable on the stage. I don't know why, but when I would have to perform my music for people, like I would get so scared, so nervous. I always kind of liked it more as something that I would do for myself. I never like, yeah, I played for a while, but I knew I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
I think also with music, it's more like you as a person, and with acting, you can step into a character's shoes.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's funny. I never really thought about it like that before, but you're absolutely right. Because it just felt more vulnerable. It was like this is me. Like this
Yeah,
is what I'm putting out there. Versus, yeah, these roles and characters. It's like sure, it's me, it's my face, my voice, whatever. But everyone knows like this isn't me. This is a character.
yeah.
Mhm.
The next is about music.
This is perfect. We're like totally on the same page here.
Oh, do you have a favorite song you listen to or artist you like?
Yeah. You know, I my favorite musician, his name is James Blake. I love his music. I listen to him a lot, just in my daily life. Also, like, if I'm stretching or dancing or whatever, like his music is what I love to put on. Um, I'm not sure if this is going to spoil another question, but music for me is like a really big part of my process as an actor. Um, if I have a scene where I need to be crying or be really angry, like that's how I kind of am able to like take a step back and like listen to my music, get in the zone, and be ready to do what I have to do.
It is a little part of a question, yeah.
I love it. We're just like flowing right into the next one.
No, it was later on that question.
Okay. We'll come back to it. We'll come back.
Do you want to know something about me before we go to next?
Yeah, for sure. I'm so curious because you know how did you get into verticals and the verticals you watch, like do you watch the ones in English? Do they even have any in Dutch? Dutch is the language of the Netherlands, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, do they even make verticals in Dutch, or do you just kind of watch all of them?
I came across a vertical on TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I just saw it and I immediately started watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And no, we don't have a Dutch vertical because I don't think. No, how do I say that? A lot of people in my country don't know about it yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. What did you think when you saw that first vertical? Like, was a part of you like, oh, like, what is this? This clearly isn't like your normal film TV show, or yeah, what was that like for you kind of getting into it?
Mm, it's, I think, because it was so new, fresh. Nobody in my country knows about it. I didn't either before I started watching it.
Hmm.
I think that's just because it's new.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
when I started watching my first, I immediately started watching a second. Yeah.
That's how they get you. That is exactly how they get you,
Yeah.
right? That's so funny. Yeah, no, that's interesting. It's so cool to see and like meet people who live on like the opposite end of the world, and like English isn't your first language, but yet like you've still like gotten into it and like are now like such a part of the community. I think it's so cool how it like kind of brings people together from like everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. There are a lot of like America, Australia,
Hmm.
Netherlands,
Yeah,
France, everywhere.
everywhere. It's cool. Yeah.
Uh, do you want to go into the next, or do you want to know something more?
We can head into the next one. I'm sure as we continue talking, I probably will have another question for you. So I'll let you know when it comes up because it will.
Of course. Um, if you could create your own show, what would you create?
Um, so it's funny that you asked that question because I recently have started writing my own verticals. Um, because I also like to write. Like I've written like stage plays and screenplays for like feature films and stuff. But I think the vertical format is so interesting, especially as a writer to try to like deal with, because it's like every 2 pages has to be like its own arc. It has to be its own exciting thing, and so the vertical that I've been working on um, is like kind of in the genre of like supernatural, like scary ghost kind of thing. Because I feel like the vertical format is so good for that. It's like we can have like a jump scare, and this and that. So like, and I haven't really seen any like scary verticals before, you know?
Mm, yeah, one a little bit, but not really.
Yeah. So I think it could be really cool to do one like that. Something that's different that you've never really seen, but that's still like super exciting, and like obviously like there's gonna be a plot line for some romance because
Yeah,
like we love we have to have the romance. But yeah, I feel like that would just be so much fun to do.
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Gotta get it. I gotta finish it and we gotta get it out there.
That would be great.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's one little bit like horror vibe.
Mhm.
The one, what was it called again? How name? Mary is something with Mary.
Mhm. Yeah, but there's not a lot. I think it could be cool. It's definitely like a part of the verticals that hasn't been like tapped into yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next is about if you related to any of your characters.
Hmm. You know, there's like I feel like in every character I play, like there's always an element to it that I can relate to. You know, like it's hard because especially, doing a lot of the leading roles, your character is constantly getting, like bullied or hit or stepped on, and it's like who hasn't felt that way at some point in their life, like who hasn't felt like just completely like disrespected, and it's in those moments where it's like I try to make the character feel as human as possible because, the verticals are known for being like super dramatic, super over the top. And it's like there are these crazy scenarios, but that feeling, is something that I think that like everybody can relate to at
Yeah.
some point, and especially like I've gotten the chance to do a couple recently that are very much like revenge focused, which is fun seeing, getting the characters like a chance to like really fight back, and like I definitely appreciate those roles, because even sometimes in my life where I'm like, something's happening and I'll just like not want to start a fight, not want to do this. Like it's really fun getting to step into someone whose like life is like I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to get what I deserve, I really love those.
Yeah. In my opinion, there can be more like that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Or what I also would love if a female character doesn't go back to her boyfriend, ex, husband, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that too, and I feel like we don't see that a lot also in the verticals. Like, the girl will just go back because we want like the happy ending.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes like the happy ending could definitely be like, oh, she finally realizes that like she doesn't need a man. She doesn't need anybody.
Yeah.
Like she is enough and like she can fight. And it's funny, like one of the ones I just shot, it came out a few days ago called Ashes of Love. Um, that one is not a romance like at all, which is very rare for the verticals. It's like she gets, pretty much like horribly betrayed and almost killed by her husband, and then she wakes up back in time and has like
Yeah.
a second chance to like do it all over again, which like for me that was such an interesting uh plot line because like I feel like I haven't seen too much of that, and throughout the course of the film is pretty much like I get revenge on every single person who did me wrong, and even at the end when my crappy husband is like, I'm so sorry, take me back, I'm like, absolutely not, absolutely not. So that was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I want more of that too.
Yeah. Any country you love to visit that you haven't been to?
Yes, yes. So I there's so many. There's so many. I think like the next two that are like at the top of my list is Japan and Greece.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like Japan, I've just always wanted to visit. Like I grew up watching anime, so like I just it always has like a special place in my heart. Um and then right now, I'm working on a play, actually. I've been doing a play all summer, um, called A Midsummer Night's Dream. It's like one of Shakespeare's like very popular plays, but it's set in ancient Athens. And so I've been doing like a lot of research on ancient Athens and Greece. And I just have this bug in my head now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go. I have to go see it. I love the history. I love all of that. So hopefully soon.
Greece is really beautiful.
Yeah. Have you been before?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta go. It's just like the water and then like the white buildings. Like, oh, yeah. And like I said, the history. I'm such a nerd when it comes to history. Like, when I was in China, one of the cities that we were shooting in was called Xi'an, which is like the old capital of China, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's where they have like the terracotta army. Um, and like on an off day, me and one of my co-stars, we like, you know, took a car like an hour out to go see them, and that was like really one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Do you have a favorite history subject?
There's so many, so many. You know, I know. I'm like, which one? Which one? You know, one that I like that really like has always like resonated in me, and I think is like it's such a tragedy is, you know, like the Bolshevik Revolution, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, the whole Romanov family and what happened to them. I I did a show a couple years ago where I played the mother of like the last emperor, and you know, just learning about like what life was like there versus like before it happened and then after, and just how everything went down, and like all of the factors that led to it happening is just so fascinating and sad for like so many ways, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's fun.
I get that. We have that in common. I really am interested in history as well.
Do you have a favorite like historic kind of thing?
Um, I'm really interested in the, how do you say it? Second World War,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially because my city where I live in um, was heavily attacked in the
Mm-hmm.
Second World War.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But I'm always like it's interesting to see the cities in Europe that, you know, are like very old historic cities, but you can clearly tell like which parts were hit like during the war. Like when I was in London last year, that was really clear. You know, there would be parts of London that were super duper old, and then there would be other parts of London that like looked very like 650s, 60s esque, you know, after
Yeah.
they had rebuilt everything. Yeah, no, that's a very fascinating one for sure.
Uh, We had like building that was like 45 years old or something in my city, but it sadly was, how do I say that? Torn down because of a fire.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah,
I hate that. That's so sad. Yeah. What are we gonna do?
especially for the people that lived really close with the
Hmm.
building.
Yeah. No, it's kind of crazy. I never like because my hometown, New Orleans, like we flood. We get flooding all the time. You know, like
Mhm.
today, I literally got a text from the news, and they're like, "Look out, we might flood today." So I never really thought about like the devastation of like fires and what that can look like until, you know, more recently, especially with all the horrible fires and things that happened in LA. You know, we actually shot at in a one of our locations was like kind of near all the devastation, and it was the first time that I've ever like seen anything like that. And yeah, it's just awful, awful.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. And seeing the history get lost is so sad as well. That's the worst part.
yeah.
Hmm.
The next question is my favorite one,
Okay.
and also can be for some people a little bit emotional.
Okay.
It's about if you could give your younger self advice, what would it be?
Hmm. You know, I think about this sometimes. You know, when I was younger growing up, especially like, when my family was like kind of forcing me into music, into a place, that I wasn't, super passionate about. And then, of course, like in high school, when you're just like insecure about literally everything, you know, I would just, I wish I could like hold up a mirror or like take a picture of like what my life looks like now, because truly, like, I'm so grateful that of where I am in my life, and I'm very happy with where I am in my life now. And I wish I could just show that to her and be like, look, it gets better. Like, just hang on a little bit longer. Like, this, what you're going through right now, like, is not going to last forever. And even like now in my life, when I'm going through something, or you know, having a really hard time, I just remind myself that, like, like this, what I'm feeling right now, like, this isn't going to be forever. This is just for right now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah,
I think most of the people I think can relate to that at some point.
definitely. Yeah. Things feel so intense, when you're young. I feel like, it's like everything is like the end of the world. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, sometimes I miss feeling that way. Like, there are times in my life, sometimes now, where I'm like, God, I'm just so bored with life. Like, oh my gosh. And I think about when I was young and how intense everything felt, and like that sort of like fire in life. Like, I don't ever want to lose that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm looking at the questions, by the way.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
please
you
go.
already thought that, but
Yeah, no, please.
um, the next is about what's the best career advice you ever got?
Mm-hmm. You know, my my acting teacher in New York, he was a very um intense man. He was not going to be nice for the sake of being nice. Like, he cared about the work and everything. And one of the biggest lessons he like instilled in me was, don't be an asshole. you know and it's funny, but it's very true. Like, I have to I and like I remind myself, like, on days on set where I'm like exhausted or so tired, or I'm just like, I've had enough. Like, reminding myself to like always be patient with people, always be kind to people, always, like, remember people's names and things like that. Because it's like these small things that you do can really make a difference in your career. Because if you're somebody who people know is kind, who people know, cares about, the other people you're working with, like, that goes a long way. That's the sort of thing that makes people want to work with you again, or like, refer you for another job, if they need a recommendation for someone. And so, like, truly, I try to always, like, you know be there and be kind and present with the people who I'm working with, and like not take it for granted. Like, truly, a lot of the people that I've met and worked with on these verticals, like cast and crew both, like, now have become like some of my closest friends. And I never expected to like get these like wonderful relationships out of, just like these jobs, but it's such a gift.
That's beautiful.
It's a funny saying, don't be an asshole, but like, it's true.
Yeah,
Because people will remember if you're an asshole. That's true.
yeah. Also, not, I think just in general life too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely applies to like day-to-day life as well, you know. And even on days where it's like I'm having a really bad day, it's like it doesn't cost you anything to be kind. It doesn't cost you anything to, just give somebody a smile because you never know what someone else is going through.
Yeah. I sometimes get the comment, "Why are you so nice?"
Aww.
And I always say that's just a moral standard of me.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
learned it from my parents just to be always nice, because what you just said, you never know what somebody's going through.
Yeah. No, it's true. I think it's important. And it's like not everybody realizes that. And it's important. It definitely is.
And it's also just in my character. I'm just like this.
You're just naturally sweet.
Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a very good thing. Some people say like, "Oh, you're too nice," but I mean, what's the opposite? Just being
Evil.
horrible? Like how could that ever be a bad thing? Is being nice, being too nice? Like I don't. I think that's such bullshit when people say that. Like, "Oh, you're too nice." Like, no, I think that's one of the best qualities someone could have.
Yeah, 100%.
Hmm.
The next is a little similar to this one. What would you advise a person that wants to go into acting?
Yeah, I think I would say
Don't be an asshole.
don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. Remember people's names. Make an effort to people who have reached out and done things for you. Like make an effort to reach out out to them and always be thankful for every opportunity that you get because it's like acting is such a difficult career path because it's not a normal job. Like you never know when the next job is going to come, but always be kind and know that like if you're going through a rough spot and you're feeling like, oh, I'm not getting any jobs, or like everyone hates me or this or that, like know that like it's never really about you. Like I in New York when I was in college, I worked in casting. I worked for this like this really really big casting director, and we were doing some really big shows and stuff. And I would be with him in the room, when we would have these auditions, and this was like before the pandemic, so like people were still coming into the office, like it wasn't self tapes. And I'm so glad that I did that because I saw so many times like we would have the day, 100 people would come in, and then at the end of the day we'd be going through the top picks and stuff, and even people who were like amazing amazing, you know the casting director would send to the producer, but the producer would be like, oh well, we can't cast them, they're too short because the other actor's taller, or we can't have two blondes, we already have a blonde. It's like there's so many factors that go into it that like you don't even know about, and none of it has anything to do with your talent or who you are as a person. It's like don't let that get to you because you truly never know what's going on the other side of things.
That's beautiful advice, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
The next are like four little short basic questions, like
Mm-hmm.
really, really, really basic. And that is, one is, what is your favorite food?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard because I love food. I love food so much. Favorite food. You know, I love like Italian. I love all that, but probably um Cajun food, which is like the food from my city.
Oh,
Gumbo in particular, I love. Like my mom's gumbo, the way she makes it. It's like a very thick kind of soup with like, it's spicy, it's really rich, and like if I'm like in New York, when I get homesick, I'll just like make a pot of gumbo from my mom's recipe and like I immediately feel better.
Yeah, yeah. That is also something just food your parents make.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just like nothing is the same as like that sort of thing. It's so comforting,
Yeah.
you know.
The next basic one is, what is your favorite drink?
Alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
What do you want to say?
You know what? I'll say both. I'll say both. My favorite non-alcoholic drink is tea, which I'm currently drinking. I love tea. I don't drink coffee, so I always have tea every single day. Um, I've been really into green tea recently, but I also drink like a lot of black tea as well. When I travel to other countries, like one of my favorite things to do is like buy whatever kind of tea is like special to that country. Um, so that's fun. And then my favorite alcoholic drink is it's a French 75. It's like
Yeah.
lemon juice. You know what that is?
Hmm.
Yeah, lemon juice, gin, champagne. Like when I drink it, I feel like I don't know, I feel like the Great Gatsby. You know what I mean? Like I just feel so classy. I love it.
The third basic question is, what is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal. Mm, that's hard too. I've always loved monkeys.
Oh yeah,
They're so cute. They're so cute and like how they're like so human. You know, they really make me laugh. And I'm trying to think if like when I was a kid, I loved like Siamang monkeys. They're like the little black ones with like really long arms.
yeah,
I was just like I want one of them to like hold onto my neck and I'll just hold it, you know. They have so much personality. I love them.
yeah. I get that.
I've never seen one in person though, so well like I've seen them at the zoo, but I know in like certain countries like they're just wild and I would have really loved to see like a wild monkey. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I get that. Oh yeah, the last basic question, and then I have a few more other ones.
Okay.
What is your favorite color?
My favorite color, see this one's easy. My favorite color is green, but like a dark green like a forest.
Oh yeah,
I love that color. It's very comforting.
then you would love where I live, because I have a forest like really outside my door almost.
Oh wow, that's so nice. Yeah, I feel like if you like wake up every day and you just see that, like you probably feel so peaceful,
Yeah,
you know?
I am.
Yeah.
The next one is kind of random, but do you watch any verticals yourself?
Um,
So I mean, not from yourself, but just watching in general.
yeah. You know, occasionally I'll watch my like if my friends have a vertical, you know, I'll watch some of that because you know I just love watching my friends work. It's just
Mm.
really fun. Um, I did watch a little bit of some of the verticals on Candy Jar. I've never worked for them before, but I really like what they do. Like I feel like I see a lot of kind of like more interesting stories, like less, you know, stereotypical verticals. So like the few that I've watched that are like not my own have been on that platform.
Do you have one of yourself that you would recommend to somebody, and one that you watched from other people that you would recommend?
Yeah. If I had to choose one of mine to recommend, uh, it's so hard. I really do like the one that Casey and I did in Lithuania, the Contractually Yours. I liked that one a lot. There was like a lot of I just think the story was good, the script was good. Um, the rest of the cast, they were all just such great actors and so fun to work with. I got to do some fight training for that. They actually brought in like a jujitsu, not jujitsu, Muay Thai, like a trainer, and he like trained us fully before the shoot. And there's some really cool fight scenes in there that I'm pretty proud of. So probably that one, and then the ones that I'm not in. I really liked it was like what is it? Kelly Homecoming Queen or something like you know what I'm talking about? It's
Yeah,
on Candy Jar.
I know
It like
which one you mean.
yeah, they I've watched part of that and the acting's good, the script is good, and it's also shot just really well. Like it looks like a real movie, which I really like. So
Yeah.
I thought that one was pretty good.
I have now maybe a question in your head for me.
Yeah, what are your favorite verticals or like what are some of like your favorite like type of stories to watch in a vertical?
A few of my favorites. I liked Campus Rivals, the newest.
Hmm.
Um, the Mary one I was talking about earlier.
Yes.
Um, I really like vampires as well, but not the vampires I have seen on Vertical so far.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
more Vampire Diaries.
Yes. I love the Vampire Diaries.
And the originals also.
Girl, yes. That's my hometown.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's where I am right now. It's so cool. I love how they did that. That one's really good too.
And also Pretty Little Liars I really like.
Hmm.
But
That's a
that's
good one.
also not really on verticals.
Yeah. I can definitely see how things like Pretty Little Liars and like the Vampire Diaries have like influenced verticals, have like inspired
Yeah,
certain things like that. But it would be cool to see, more verticals that are more similar to those shows.
yeah, just a group of a few female actors that I would
Hmm.
really, really love.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. That would be really fun. Like a group of girls,
Yeah,
you know. Oh, that would be good. You're giving me ideas for my next vertical.
great. What's on your bucket list?
My bucket list. Well, traveling, obviously, definitely going to those places that we talked about is high up there. But one thing that is on my like life bucket list, like as soon as I have time and enough money to do it, I plan on getting my pilot's license to like fly a plane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's amazing.
my whole family works in aviation. Like my father's a pilot. My mother was a flight attendant. That's how they met. They met on a plane. My grandmother, brother, all work in the airlines. And it's funny. Kind of going back to an earlier question. If I wasn't going to be an actor, the only other job that I could see myself really doing would be being a pilot. So like that's something that I've always wanted to do, and like I've always known that at some point in my life I will get around to doing it. So that's on there.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
The next is a little bit about supernatural things.
Let's go.
If you could have any superpowers, which one would you wish you have?
Wow, I feel like you will resonate with this. Time travel.
Yeah.
Like to go back in time and like see like yeah, like ancient Greece or ancient Rome or like what life was like, in the 20s, or in the like Victorian era. Like I would love to get the chance to go back in time and like actually see what that was like.
Yeah, I definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
What do you hope viewers get out of your shows?
Hmm. It's hard because it's like all of the shows are so different, all of the characters are so different, but I hope that when people watch my shows, they like they let themselves like, you know, go on the journey of like, what I'm feeling. Like I hope that like I'm doing my job well enough as an actor that people like, whenever like I used to love movies and stuff as a kid because like I said, when I was going through a hard time or whatever, and I just wanted to like turn it all off, like I would turn on my favorite TV show and just like allow myself to get totally lost in it, and then after I finished watching it, I would come out of it and I would feel like completely different. I would feel so much better, and like I just hope that you know people can get that from my work if that's something that they're looking for, you know.
Yeah. You could step into any movie or show, which not a vertical, which one would you step into?
Oh, that's so hard. That's so hard. Um, you know, this is very unserious. Like, this is very unserious, but like, I do mean it. Like, I love Twilight. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to admit it, you know? Like, Twilight or like a Harry Potter, like being able to step into those worlds that are so just like well developed and detailed, like, oh, that would be so fun.
Yeah. You already know what I would do?
Yeah. Would it be Vampire Diaries?
Yeah.
Vampire Diaries or the originals?
The originals.
Yeah,
I
the
like
Twilight
that
TV.
one a little bit more.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character?
In the which one?
Originals.
Elisha.
Oh, yes. Good choice. Good choice. He's got such a strong, like, moral compass. I'm just like, he's the man that I would call if I was in trouble,
Yeah.
you know?
And in the Vampire Diaries, Damon.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Who doesn't love, I love Damon so much.
Yeah, who doesn't love him?
I know, he's like so flawed, but like, you get it. It's like he does all this crazy stuff, but like, I can never be mad at him for doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, such a good show. I love that. I love that show.
I love it too so much. I think I have watched it like a billion times or something.
Oh yeah, I've definitely watched it more than once, for sure.
If you could take three things with you to an abandoned island, what would you bring?
That's a good one. Um, Probably like I guess this counts. Okay, so one of it would be like a speaker or like a record player or something to play music. And then the other one would be like an album, which I don't know what, like, it would be so hard to choose, like, what CD. You know, honestly, maybe, like, here I go again outing myself, but like the Twilight soundtrack is so good, is so good. Like, it's such a mix of different songs. I love it. Like, I could listen to that for the rest of my life. Like, I definitely could. And then the third thing would probably be um, a piano. I feel like if I had all of those things, I would never be bored.
That's true. Yeah.
Yep. I just realized they all have to do with music, but like,
Yeah.
you know.
With who that you haven't already worked with would you love to work with?
Mm, so probably Eloise Gordon. She is a very good friend of mine, and she also is another vertical actress. She's a great, great actor. Um, we've I've seen a lot of her work. Like when I watch verticals that aren't my own, it's like usually hers because like I just love watching her work. She's so much fun, um, and I would love to get the chance to work together at some point.
That's especially fun when you're friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Here it comes a question I meant earlier.
Okay.
How do you prepare for roles? Do you have like any routine you do or something like that?
Definitely. So like to prepare for the role itself, you know, it's really tricky with verticals because like this play that I'm doing right now, you know, I had 2 months of rehearsal before we even opened the show. So I had so much time to develop this character. You know, I read the script like over 100 times. You know, I like did physical work. I like to imagine like what animal do I think this character would be, like how I can really step in their shoes that way. Um, but for verticals, it's hard because like we get the script maybe like a week in advance. Like we really don't get that much time to like dig into these characters. So what I try to do is read the script as many times as possible, just so I'm super familiar with what's going on. And then I'll usually pick like one or two words that I think is like the essence of the character. So like this person's a fighter, this person's a lover, this one's like a hopeless romantic, this person is like deeply insecure. Like picking one simple word that, you know, before I go into a scene I can remember like, okay, this is this character, this is how they respond. They're a fighter. So like anytime that I need to that something happens, like don't go to the place where I want to cry and curl in a ball. Like fight, 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 fight. You know, to remind myself that. And then, yeah, when I have to do like very emotionally intense scenes, I will listen to music. Um, I typically listen to like movie scores, like instrumental music or classical music, things without words. I can't listen to things with words because it just distracts me. But yeah, just like a really beautiful piece of music can like make me cry in like 5 seconds, you know?
Yeah. The next, you already kind of talked about him. Maybe
Oh,
you know what the question is. How was it working with Casey?
oh.
Somebody wants to know that.
You know, Casey and I have worked together 3 times. Um, the very first vertical I ever did was with Casey. Um, and ever since that first vertical, like him and I have become very good friends. I adore him. I love him so much. We talk all the time. Like we were texting yesterday. It's always so fun working together because we just have a good time on set. We always have fun, and he's incredibly talented, very professional to work with. But he doesn't take himself too seriously. I really adore Casey. I love him very much.
That that I heard before.
Yeah, yeah. He can be a bit of a goofball, but I love it.
Yeah,
He's infamous for his like really corny jokes. Like they're so bad. They're so bad that they're funny. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's do
All right.
this one. Is which do you prefer, good girls or villains?
Oh. I definitely prefer doing the good girls because, villains are fun because they're crazy and over the top, but like, I always prefer a character that's a little bit more grounded,
Yeah,
like, because sometimes for me, like, the villains, like, just feel so far away from, like, how real humans act that it's like a cartoon of a person. Like it can be very hard to make them feel like very human. And so I have a lot of respect for like the actresses who do a lot of these villains who like always manage to make them feel very human because that's difficult. That's really challenging. Um, but yeah, I think I definitely prefer the good girls because I get to go through more of an emotional arc. Like my character can start in one place and end in another place. I can have like a journey with it, which I think is more fun for me.
yeah, I get that. Now the last one, and I always end with this one, and that is if you want to say something to the viewers of your shows, to the viewers of our conversation, or me.
I would like to say to all of you, just like a huge, huge like thank you so much for like always like, watching not just me, but like, all of our shows and like being so supportive. Like I never expected to like find this community like I've said before. And I just think it's so wonderful. Like anytime anyone reaches out to me and says like, I love this or I love that, like it really means the world to me. So just like a huge thank you for your support and for watching and for caring about the work we do. Like I know it's like some of our stories are very silly and very over the top, but like you know your support truly means everything. It really does. So thank you so much. Yeah. And that's for you as well. Truly, thank you. It's been so nice getting to talk to you and get to know you, and I love watching all the interviews that you have on your page, and it's fun seeing people who I've worked with. Like I love it. It's great. So please don't stop what you're doing. We love it. I love it.
With who did I want that you have worked with?
Well, when I was just scrolling the other day, I was watching your interview with Dan. I love Dan. He's wonderful. He's truly like one of the best vertical actors I've worked with, and like so hardworking. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun getting to see that.
That was one of my earlier ones.
Yeah, he's great. He's such he's a great actor, but he's also like super into like the business side of verticals and like producing and like you know giving advice to other actors. He's such an advocate. He's always like rooting for other people, which I just respect a lot about him.
Yeah, likewise,
Yeah,
I do too. And I love his work a lot.
yeah, me too.
Thank you for what you just said, by the way. I didn't say that, but thank you. That means a lot to me.
Of course. Yeah, no, I really mean it. Thank you.
So that were all my questions. Again, thank you for doing this with me. I really love talking to you.
Yes, likewise. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
And I will let you know when I'm gonna post it.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Again, thank you and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.